morning and greetings from Northumberland in this week of the baptism of the Lord. It's the 13th of January, and as you can see, we're approaching the dawn here in Northumberland. Like yesterday when there were two saints to choose from, today we have three commemorations. St. Hilary, who died in about the year 367, take that in, 367. St. Kentigern, whose nickname was Mungo, who died in 603, and George Fox, who was the founder of the Quakers, who was almost 1,000 years later, or more than 1,000 years later, in 1691. I just want to talk about all of them very briefly for a moment, because they, in their own way, contribute to the rich tapestry of what it is to be a Christian. Hilary became Bishop of Poitiers in France, and he wrote letters, it's interesting, to the bishops of Gaul, Germany and Britain. So in those early days, in the 300s, we're reminded that there was a British church, mainly in the west of the country, in what we call Wales, in Ireland, in Cornwall, and in the northwest in Scotland. Christians who had learnt their faith and who were still proclaiming their faith. This was long before, if you like, Christianity became established as a faith in our country. Hilary sought to, above all, teach about the divinity of Christ. It was the time of Arianism, people who didn't really believe that Jesus was the Son of God. And he was one like Athanasius in the East, who fought to maintain that Christian truth, the truth of the Holy Trinity. Coming on to Mungo, Kentigern, he was a bishop in Strathclyde, the area north and south of the Clyde, what we'd call now Dumfries and Galloway and Glasgow. And remember, there's still a bishop in the Anglican Church of Glasgow and Galloway, who in some ways inherits that mantle. But that southwestern corner of Scotland, and there are stories of him wandering further into Wales, but he revived the work of Ninian in southwest Scotland. And then we have George Fox, the founder of the Society of Friends, the Quakers, a group of people who sought to worship in a very different way, in silence and in waiting on God. But each of them, in their own way, sought to follow and to live out their faith as a theological teacher, as a bishop, as a leader of a group of people. And each of them, in their own way, also helped Christianity to grow and develop its different facets. And that's what's important for us as we think about these saints. We probably won't be remembered individually 1,000 years from now, or 1,500 years from now, or 500 years from now. But we can all play our part. As Hilary, as Mungo, as George Fox did, in following Christ, in being disciples, and in sharing Christ's love with others. May God bless us as we seek